Well, I tell you what, that's where we are right now. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Notice verse 4. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. That caught my attention because I'm going to show you a graphic of the Apollo 11 patch. This is in our video, The Babel Conspiracy. It will be re-released shortly in a different form, and I'll tell you about that at the end of the broadcast. But I want you to notice you have an eagle building a nest. It's got a twig in its hand. It's building its nest among the stars. That epitomizes this country. And here's what God said. He said, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou wast as one of them. Verse 12, but thou shouldest not have looked on in the day of thy brother, in the day that he became a stranger, neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction, neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. Verse 15, for the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. I'm telling you that when the official representative of this country goes to the enemies of God's people in God's town, Jerusalem, and pushes and promotes them to stir up violence so that Jerusalem could be, so that lots could be cast for Jerusalem and ownership of Jerusalem. When our leader does that, God says, be careful, you just cursed Israel. And what you have decided to do to Jerusalem, it's going to return upon your own head. Think about head. Think about sins. I'm telling you, this got me. Okay, I mean, I see all kinds of things. I mean, you send me 4 million emails a week. I'm just an exaggeration, but you send me all these emails every week, and I'm telling you, I see a lot of things going on. This trips God's trigger. Be watching for what's going on. And I will tell you, think about Jerusalem and think about the promises that Jesus made concerning Jerusalem. I'm going to show you something, Matthew chapter 24. Jesus went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. And Jesus said unto them, see ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, and I want you to pay very close attention. Do not let your attention be deficit on this one. There shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. Now, I believe in this Bible. I believe in its literal, exact, concise, surgical interpretation. I believe that if Jesus said this, it's going to happen. Follow this, and we put this out in our video on Understanding Bible Prophecy. For God speaketh once, yea, twice. The prophecies, the dreams, and the visions of the Bible, they always have a double fulfillment. Typology is all about double fulfillment. That which was is that which shall be. Now, amillennials, preterists, you gotta love them. You got to love them. They love symbols in the Bible, but they think everything in the Bible is just one big gigantic symbol, but it doesn't mean anything literally. And so the preterists and the amillennials say, well, you know, Jesus said this, and in AD 70, the Caesar of Rome came in and destroyed Jerusalem and destroyed the temple, fulfilling now what Jesus said. And so everything that you see in Matthew 24 already happened. It's already happened. Why are you worrying about some antichrist guy that's not going to show up? Because it's already happened. And of course, we all know that John wrote the book of Revelation as a secret code language to the people living in his day so that they wouldn't get arrested, you know, for reading this and understanding that the beast was really the emperor of Rome. Let me tell you something. John had already been in exile in the Isle of Patmos. He'd already been stir-fried in oil and lived through it. I really don't think John was worried too much. And he was like 90-some-odd years old. I don't think he was too worried about being arrested for what he wrote in the book of Revelation. They had to write some secret code language. I'm telling you that if Jesus said it, it's going to happen. Now, here's what Jesus said. He said, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. And everybody says, well, that already happened in AD 70. Come on. Most of it happened in AD 70. But not all of it. And the Word of God cannot be broken. It cannot be. It has to happen. Here's a picture. It's called the Western Wall, the Wailing Wall. It is the single remnant, the only thing left of the temple. And you remember, they showed him the buildings of the temple, not just the temple itself, the buildings of the temple. And Jesus said, see all this that you're talking about? Not one stone's going to be left on another. Well, here, let me look at this. I see stones on top of one another. That's what I see. So, it didn't happen. Not all, not yet. So it's going to. So I want you to think about this. There's a fight over Jerusalem. There's going to be a continued fight over Jerusalem, and Barack Obama is pushing the bad guys to incite violence inside of Jerusalem, inside of Israel. And I'm telling you that something's going to happen. I don't know what it is. Something's going to happen. That wall is coming down. A violent, cataclysmic, I don't know what it's going to be. I'm telling you that wall is coming down, and when it does, then will be the fulfillment of what Jesus said. And I will show you this. Let me show you this. Israel seeks urgent action on Wailing Wall. This is dated August 28th, 2002. The Israeli Prime Minister Ariel Sharon will convene a special forum of his ministers to discuss warnings that the holiest site in Judaism is on the verge of collapse. Archaeologists fear a bulge in the western or Wailing Wall could cause it to topple. The Western Wall is all that remains of the second Jewish temple destroyed by Romans in AD 70. It stands directly below Al-Aqsa Mosque compound in Israel's. Wouldn't it be great if when that wall fell, the mosque fell too? Jewish archaeologists warned that if nothing is done to fix the wall, it will collapse on worshippers. That's my best Jewish accent, by the way. Anyway, there's a bulge in the wall. I don't know if it's going to bulge out like a zit and pop out, but I believe that wall's coming down, and it's going to happen suddenly. Isaiah 30, verse 13, therefore this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant. I think that's referring to that wall. I think it's referring to Matthew 24. And when those things happen, I believe it's going to happen suddenly, quickly, without warning. And I think we as Christians are to be people of the day so that that day does not overtake us as a thief in the night. Let's be watching for what's going on. Our friends, the visitors, are back. You know, the V people. The show went on hiatus, the television show, about aliens coming down to mingle themselves with human people. But anyway, the television show came out. It came back on again on March the 30th. That's the beginning of the new season, or the continuation of the season. I don't know what they're doing over there. But anyway, it came out, and I want you to notice this. Bill out in Nebraska, hi Bill, how you doing? Reminded me of this. The original air date, and we talked about this in the Watchman video broadcast, was 11/3, November 3. That makes it 33 if you multiply them together. Well, then look at the new season date, 3/30. That's a 33 as well. I think there's messages in here. Oh, by the way, in this new one, they talk about this formula called R6 that just looks like water, but when it's analyzed, it has this thing in here that gets into the human genome and rewrites man's DNA. I'm going to show you a clip of that. Take a look.
So what did you find out?
Examination of the R6